welcome to the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. As you know, it's got to be possibly the best fishing show on YouTube. I feel. Anyway, this is one of the tips we're going to give you. A lot of the best sea fishing tips really are the most basic ones. And I feel when people say to me, a lot of beginners, a lot of novices, they say, what's the absolute best way to catch fish? Sort of quickly, easy, the quick and easy way to go fishing. You don't need loads and loads of complicated rigs, you need the most basic rigs. One of the most basic rigs you can use is a 2-hook Paternoster. Let me show you what it looks like. Now I have no idea where the word Paternoster even comes from. Pater, well it's father, Noster, I don't know. I mean there's one called mother, in Americans use it a lot, don't they? Goddamn mother, that one. Well, maybe Paternoster is you, goddamn Paternoster. I don't know what it means. It means father. Father, not the mother one, the father one. I don't know. Paternoster, where did this come from? Does anybody know? Does anybody care? Anyway, the Paternoster rig is pretty basic. It's this. There's a lead at the bottom. Now you have to ask yourself where most of the sea fish come. Are they actually along the bottom of the seabed? Well, about a foot or 2 feet above. I would think something like bream are within the top 3 feet of water, I would think, from the seabed coming up like this. So I want to put a hook here, about 14 inches off the seabed. Don't measure it, guys. Don't measure it. That's sad. Just guess it. Look, about that much off the seabed. Now to do that, I just tie in, well, I call them a blood loop, and I'm using 20-pound mono, and I'm using a standard 4-ounce lead, which might or might not be too heavy with black bream on the day. You have to depend on the tide. Little link swivel here so you can always change leads, and this is how I tie it up. Okay, to tie the blood loop, you've got that sort of 12 or 14 inches off the seabed. That's the bottom end of the loop. Come up the main line, roll it to put a loop in it, like this. You want the loop about 4 inches long, and then I go round with the line. This is in our how to tie knots. I can't even speak this morning, I'm so excited. How to tie knots. You go round about, well, anything between 6 and 8 times around the main line. So you twisted it up sort of around the main line there. Then you take the main loop and you push it through that little hole you've made there. It's a bit difficult to do. It's dead easy to tie, but I have to use my mouth and I'm trying to film at the same time. I'm going to push it through there. I don't know if you can see that. Just leaving that loop like that, and then you pull on both main sections. Now normally I use my teeth. I'm just going to start pulling that down. Now you can see here they just start to shorten up. Now a bit of spit, draw it up with the moisture, and you should be able to see that. This is, oh, beautiful. That's probably the best one I've ever tied in my life. It's nice and tight, but what you might notice, guys, it is absolutely 90 degrees to the vertical lead. Now, you can actually snip this and make one big long length of leader and then snip it back, or you can use it double. Now, I'm going to be using it double. I generally use 15. I'm actually using 20 here for the camera, and I push the end of the loop through the eye of the hook like that. The hook, by the way, is enormous. It's a eagle claw, short shank, wide gape hook for live baiting for marlin and tuna. Just so you can see it in the camera. You've got the loop, you've gone through the eye, just like this, right? I just do a couple of turns on the shank like that, around the main shank, and then pull it slowly tight. Again, bit of spit, and it snugs up there nice. And that should, now that hook is heavy, so a lighter hook's going to be further back, given that the tide's going to pull as well. So that is your Paternoster, the first one, the snood of the Paternoster with a blood loop tied off. I'm going to tie another one in the top, and I'll show it to you, and you'll see it looks easy. So just run through that again. I'm going to come away from that about another 12, 14 inches. Let's pull some more line off. Get away, spool never comes off when you want it to. So I'll tie this one a little bit shorter so you can see. I'll just roll it over, loop across itself, then I twist it round and around the main line, the actual loop of line that I've made, just looking at how to tie fishing knot section, and you should get a better idea of it actually. Might be better because I think I tied it in 70-pound mono. So I'm taking it one turn around the main line, I don't know, 6 or 8 times. Probably, it's normally 4 turns. We call it a 4-turn water knot when we're trout fishing, but I'm going to tie this just a few turns here because I want to make sure it slides down so you can see it slide. And then I take the loop. God, it's difficult without teeth, isn't it? Pull it through my thumb, and then I think doing it this way, this is very shoot. Now, this is short, I'm never going to fish with that, but what I'm trying to do is illustrate that not pulling down on itself. Now, I think I've got it there. Bit of spit on, and just put it nice and close. Bang! See it tie down? And that's going to hang vertically. Obviously, it'll be a lot longer when you're fishing with it, but you've got the principle of it. You tie a hook there, put another hook on there, and you've got a 2-hook Paternoster. So that's the rig tied. I've only got the 1 hook on it, but what it's actually going to be looking like. Snip this line off here. Make life a lot easier to show you. So it's come out of the rod, straight out of your rod top. So simple, unbelievable. A lead at the bottom, a clip or link swivel so you can change leads. It's going to go down, hit the seabed, and then within 14 inches, don't measure it, it's sad measuring it. It's 12 to 14 inches. I've got my first blood loop snood, if you like, off there with a small bream hook. In this case, a big hook just to show it to you. Then come down again, tie another loop. It's too short, I know, because I just wanted to show you the knot itself. About 4 inches, I think, is enough. So you've got a 2-hook Paternoster, a small sliver of either mackerel, sand eel, squid, even worm baits. That is the most basic seaweed you can get. A lead at the bottom, and for beginners, you feel the lead hit the bottom and your hook should be clear of any snags. Let's take it sea fishing aboard High Sea Drifter, the most famous boat with a 500-pound odd shark caught by Wayne Combin on it, and loads of other sharks as well. It's famous. Is it going to catch any fish today? I have no idea. I'm going to take it out. First trip of the season. Let's get going. And here, believe it or not, folks, is, if I can get it out on this light rod, proof that it works. Oh my God, I'm not going to use the net. Oh dear. Dare I lift it? Dare I lift it? Oh man, this is a nice bream. This is a nice bream. I've already had one at 210. This is a beauty. I don't think he's far off for £3. What do you think, guys? Can you see that in the lens there? Beautiful little markings. I love that blue bit. I think that's a feeding spot. I call that a feeding line there. This beautiful blue there, that lovely colour. So, a couple of garfish. Just shows you that the Paternoster rig works. Let's get this guy unhooked. And look, he hooked himself. I was miles away having a sandwich. I looked over and the rod was about to disappear out the side. And that is, if he doesn't spike me, ouch, now calm down, that's very naughty. That's very naughty. I will give you a slap, but unfortunately you're covered in spines. There he is. Look, he didn't put his fin up for us. Oh, I love it. That's what you come down to Bracklesham Bay for, my loves. Lovely black bream. Let's see if I can get another one. Away with you. I bet he's pleased he didn't make those nets down there the commercials put out, or the frying pan. Okay, well, you've seen that fixed 2-hook Paternoster works for the bream, and indeed the garfish. But then there's a second Paternoster that I use. It's more for when the tide's flowing, and I want to do something a little bit different. Now, you can also pick up bass doing this. If you're down off a sort of reefy area where you do get an overlap of species, you might actually get some small pollock as well. So this is really, well, I don't know if I should tell you guys about it. I've been using it a few times. I use it a lot for pollock and bass, but it works really well for bream when the tide's running and you want to get away from the boat. But more important, if you can imagine this, the bream are coming along the seabed, you're nailing them on the bottom on a flowing trace, or as we showed you earlier, the fixed either 1 or 2-hook Paternoster. So that's fixed, let's say, what, 3 feet off the bottom, but then you can't really wind the lead up because the fish is going to pull and feel the lead, isn't he? You know, if you want to try and come up higher in the water for them. And very often, sometimes over slack water as well, they will rise in the water, but I find I can get bites when it gets tough by a streamline bait. I'll show you the rig, just a piece of squid, same basic principle of black bream fishing, but using a longer rod. Now, sport goes out the window now because I'm going to be using an uptider here, purely because it's long. On this particular one, it's got an extendable butt. So I can always make it go up in the boat a little bit higher in my rod holders here. So let's close that up. Fixed spool reel. Now, how can I describe this? It's almost easier to describe. Right? Your line comes down like this. I'll show you here. Let's get a bit of line out. It comes down from the rod top, and I tie in a three-way swivel there. Okay, so there's the three-way. If you can just see that, pointing that way. Let's say that's down tied. Tie your main line on here, and then if I want to fish, let's say 8 feet off the bottom, I tie in 8 feet of, let's say, 15 or 20 pound line. So that's going from the bottom, and I put a little clip swivel in there so I can change leads, because it's quite important, you know, that you still, with bream fishing, you need to be just bumping the bottom. Just, you don't need a huge, great big lead anchoring it to the bottom, because you're going to miss a bite. You're going to miss a bite. So a little clip there. So this goes all the way down to the bottom. Bang, 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 bang. Bonk on the bottom. You pull up tight, but from that three-way swivel here, I've tied about 8 feet of trace, about 15 pound. Don't be shy, don't go too light with it. So what's going to happen, that's going to hit like this, the lead's going to hit the bottom, it's going to pull tight, just put a little bit of a bow in the line with the current's going to pull it tight, and the current will push this trace way back in the water, and it's going to flutter above all those bottom baits, and bream will rise up in the water. But little trick here, guys, I've got a tiny luminescent bead there. This is just one of those that comes in the sunlight, and you know, it just glows a bit. It's like a little target for the bream. And I'm going to streamline a piece of squid, because where I'm up in the current, I don't want it spinning. Let me show you what I mean. Now again, guys, this is not rocket science. It's the same principle you're using, but you know, just a little bit of a twist to it. Let me get the hook up here. Now I do this obviously in my own boat, high sea drifter. If you're on a charter boat, you need to do a bit of casting with it, always ask the skipper. So there, if you can see it, is that little luminescent bead, and that hopefully will glow in the water, give the bream a target. There's my hook. I'm going to take off a piece of squid, semi-dried in the sun, because I forgot while I was filming, I've left it out. Take a nice strip like this, okay? Just get that tag end off there so it's square. Now, what I like to do, I don't know if you're going to see that there, I just, rather than hook it through the flat bit, I want to make it narrow. Now you can also use a sand eel for bass. I go through the top end, I just nick it there, pop it over the eye of the hook, I slide it up. Now I want to keep this as straight as possible, about there I would guess, okay? Now that ordinarily would slide right back round the hook, shake like that, make it spin. So get some of the good old bait thread, whip it round and around at the top end. I know it's square, people say, oh, you know, bait presentation is going to put the fish off. No, it doesn't put the fish off. Look, I'm no matchman, but a lot of these sea matchmen do very, very well by bait presentation. Now I'll wind that around, but only at the top end. Just cinch it a couple of times, that means tug it, it bites in and snaps off. Now that there is going to hang lovely, lovely and flat in the current. And you could also give that a little bit, that's probably more for bass and pollock, but I'm just going to nip that tag end off by an inch, make it a little bit shorter. But I'm also, where I rolled that into a sort of semicircle, you can just see that there, I hope. I'm going to put a split below the hook in the middle, just like that. And that, we call it legs. We used to use them for shark fishing years ago, for hammerhead sharks. Under a float, it makes them, we call them legs. They walk up and down when the waves bob the float up and down. But in the current, that flows as well. What I want to do is cast this up tighter, way down there, so the lead hits the bottom. I'm 6 feet, we can make it even 8 feet off the seabed, and the trace is back there, and I should get a hammering bite. Let's give it a go. I've got nothing to lose, it's just a bonus way of fishing for black bream. Now guys, this is mostly a method when you've got your own boat. You're in your own boat, you don't have a problem with it. I like lead because you've got to get outside the boat to cast. You can't cast this lot inside the boat, otherwise something nasty's going to happen. So there you can see the lead's at the bottom. I've got a good 7-8 feet, and then I've got another 8 feet of trace. So the lot, I just untangle it, because on those three-way swivels they untangle themselves a lot of the time. There's my nice neat bait. Out it goes. I lay it over the side of the boat. Check your aerials up there, guys, and one nice easy cast. Out she goes. Plenty of air with it. It's all falling through the air. Leg goes down first, then the tray sits later. Then I just feed the line down under tension. I don't let it go down too quickly. Feed it out till you hit. There's the lead on the bottom. On the holder, in the rod holder. Always just ease that little drag just there, just a bit, so should you be looking around or messing around inside the cabin, which we all do, you don't see the rod disappear over the side. Switch those off, I'll put it out there. Now, see if we can't pick up a black bream or a garfish on a different way of paternostering. Okay folks, we've seen that paternoster, how I tied that up, fixed paternoster. There it is in action. Got a lead on the bottom, about 12 inches I've got my squid strip on a small hook, and about another 12 inches I've got it on about 4 inches, shall we say. It's about 4 inches. That's going to hang back in the current. The current actually, slack tide is going to hang down here. You might get it twisted. But generally when a good tide's running, it's going to pull it away. So I've got that on the doubled line rather than the single. So it's about 20 pounds. Oh my God, there was a bite out there, I just missed it. And I've just whipped those hooks, but you want them about, you've got to think of the size of a bream's mouth. It's not very big, is it? So I'm going to measure out by an index finger from the tip to the first knuckles, generally on an adult 1 inch. So that is that bait's barely 2 inches, and I figure on a decent sized bream, that's going to be one big mouthful. Out we go, see what we can do. Well, I'm cast out there now, guys. I've got. I'm still going to leave my fixed paternosters out there, the little short ones near the seabed, because you never know. But it's just when it goes quiet, it's worth doing. Just as I speak, folks. I don't know whether you're going to see that or not. I'm going to try and turn the camera around for you. And on the uptider, up there, was an absolute hammering bite then. Right on the top. Definitely a fish on there of some description. Pretty sure, or is it with? Oh, there you go. I told you it works for fish like bass. No, it's not a bass. I'd be a screaming wreck if it was a bass. Right. He's taking the yellow line. Come in here, number 5. Your time is up. Show you it works. There he comes. Garfish. Now, he's obviously seen that bead. In fact, you can see the bead just there in the top, and he's not absolutely gutted it. He hasn't throated it. Because it's hanging in the water, he's come up, grab it, turn down, and bang, the bite straight on. Whereas sometimes if you're on the bottom, you don't often see those bites, and then you get a fish that's deep hook. This one's not. So there we go, guys. You see that one, a nice garfish. For those that don't know, it has lots of little sharp teeth. He doesn't really hurt, but I'll show him to you again. Oh, get his mouth open. There we go. Let's get him back. There you can see with his, I don't know, that's his blood or my blood. Let's get him back in the water. Again, you can eat them. Not the world's greatest eating fish. Got green bones. I'll tell you what does eat them. Sharks. Bye.
Black pig, gypsy lady, over.
Never mind about gypsy lady, pal. I've got another fish on. Oh, the fixed.
Not bad, not bad. Just
not bad.
Cells in the middle grounds.
Ah, yeah, but you don't know where I am, do you? I'm up here on my own, having a ball, and a big garfish.
Caught a couple of tope earlier, but nothing much.
Tope. I'm interested in them. There we go, guys. Nice big garfish. Let's get that one back. Oh no, the other rod's coming as well. What a method this is. Grab it, Graeme. They won't believe it.
Okay, black pig. Out.
Oh. Never mind about tope chum. I need more rods. Oh, this is a good fish. What's this? What's this? Oh, Jesus. Oh man, what's this? What is this? I'm absolutely whacked over double, guys. What the hell is this? Oh, he's kicking, he's kicking, he's kicking. Oh, you son of a beep! That was a good fish. I think that might be a double figure ray. Man, what a day. Yeah, took me off in the rocks. Oh, it's another bite. Oh. Please don't come off. What's this one? Oh. Oh. It's not good for the nerves, ladies. I can thoroughly recommend not fishing on your own with 7 rods. But I am having a ball, I've got to tell you. Oh, this is a nice fish. What's this? Oh, you want to see the size of this bream? It's on the fixed Paternoster. Where's Wayne? Wayne! Wayne! Come over here! Oh my God, it's nearly a netter, this one, guys. Oh, don't fall off for the camera. Don't fall off for the camera. Oh. I'm just going to turf everything up here to show you guys. I'm in a minute. Oh, look, Mr. Garfish is still on the deck. Oh, look at this. Look at this, if you don't believe me. His high sea drifted the boat to go fishing on. Look, oh, I love it. I got that man's laugh again. It's a disease. Nice bream. Are we going to put it in, enter it in the frying pan competition? No, it goes over the side, as does Monsieur le Garfish. Then I need to sit down because my tackle rod's boat is an absolute mess of fish. That was probably a good big double figure ray I lost on that small hook rig. And there's the hook out of Mr. Garfish. Whether you can see those teeth there. They make those films about alligators, don't they? They should come out here. Bracklesham Bay where they get giant garfish. What a session. Right, now one of the things you really should consider if you're going black bream fishing is the addition of groundbait, chum or mashed fish. Now, I use a lot of trout because I do quite a bit of shark fishing in the summer. But I save all my stuff through the winter, all the rubbish, all the leftover bits of squid, all the sprats left over from pike fishing that have gone stinky and yucky. I put it all down and I bring it out for bream fishing, and I'll show you what I do. I chop it all up and I put it in a mesh bag and drop it down to the bottom. So all you do, guys, whatever you've got, all bits of leftover bait. There's a nice little baby rainbow trout that I've been using, trying to catch pike and that through the winter. I don't waste it, I use it sea fishing. Chop it all up as fine as you can, just pulp it. Not so good when it's frozen, and obviously bits of trout's very, very tough. And all these old sprats, use them for pike fishing. Well, I didn't use them for pike fishing, there'd be nothing left of them, Graham, talk sense. I take them pike fishing and they are left over, therefore they are ready to be made into a little broth, little fishy broth. I'm going to put that in an onion sack. If you go around the market stores, you can generally find some of the old onion sacks. God almighty, the camera nearly went over then. Watch what you're doing, Graham. I'll be looking around for the camera and I'll end up like that. I've got no fingers. Chop it all up and then I'm going to put it in a bag. There we go. Lovely jubbly. I think I'll grab that camera, don't you guys? I was going to go, oh! Okay, once that's all chopped and mushed up. Now you can do this like last year, if that makes sense, and then you can freeze it down, which this is some leftover shark stuff. I just get the wife's old ice cream cartons, and there is some really prime good stuff, mashed up fish and bran with it. But you can always, if you don't want to freeze it, just get your bait out, chop it up like this. Get yourself a Brussels sprouts or an onion sack. You don't want a great big bag like we use for shark fishing, because that's going to put a lot of resistance in the water and swing it up. So I cut about, I would say possibly about half of it off. Don't throw it over the side, it's not good for boat propellers. And then just scoop all the goodies. Oh, look at that, doesn't that make you want to put it in the bag together with my leftover shark chum. That's some good stuff, buddy, that is. That might be 2 years old. Alright, so it's in the bag, and then what I've done, I've got some coralline line like you use for crabs. Got about, say, 50 feet of that, 100 feet of that, a couple of leads on the bottom, but I don't want the bag on the bottom. I want the bag about 5 feet up, so I lower that, and then about 5 feet up I put a half hitch in the loop, and that goes around the neck of the bag like this. The lead will be at the bottom, the bag will be about 5 feet up, and do a couple of half hitches because it is slippery stuff because the oil's all over my hands now, and that hopefully will get some bream coming around. There's the leads, so the leads go down first, then the bag, and that's it. Says dripping. I don't want to waste this stuff. Let me get it over the side, guys. Oh, lead goes down first. Keep it all nice and tight. There's the bag. You can see the bag's going to hang like that with the lead at the bottom. It's dripping all that lovely oil, and I lower it to the seabed and just bring it up and down about a foot. Then when it hits the seabed,
Icy drifter, at last.
At last, that's good old Wayno. Sorry Wayne, I'll come back to you, mate. Wayne, in case any of you didn't know, came out on High Sea Drifter. His first shark was about a 500-pound porbeagle. What a fish! And then he goes out in his own boat. Just happens to be a Wilson Flyer, again 17-footer. I go out with him, what do we get? A huge thresher shark. I don't know, 450 pounds, so big you just can't even believe it. I'll be back in a minute, Wayne. Pump this up and down. Now I'll just feel it hit the bottom. I go 1, 2, and then I tie it off so it's about 2 feet off the bed, off the seabed there.
High sea drifter, at last.
What a man! That last High Sea Drifter, right in the middle of a film take. Thank you, Wayne. You're starring in it now.
Sorry about that, mate. I was just ask how you getting on.
I did mention about the 2 big sharks you had. Don't worry, it's all in there, so I had to run with it, and I'm still running at the moment. So how's it going over there? Over.
Yeah, we've had about 20 odd bream, mate. Nothing too big though. So got a bit quiet at the moment. Not too bad though.
Well, I'm still plugging away here for the bream. Seems to be plenty of gars around, and I lost a real good fish on the bottom. I don't know what it was. It was thumping and banging on the light rod, but I'm not sure I was hung in the bottom. But it's 100% it was a fish banging away. So it might have been a conger, I suppose, but who knows? Okay, I'll catch up with you later on. I'll just put another chum bag down. Cheers and gone. Oh man, he's got about 20 bream as well. I wonder, is he using the 2-hook Paternoster? He knows about it. Now, because I put that chum bag down, I just can't help it. I cannot help it because I like big fish. Although I got a little array, an armament, well, it's like a war zone out there to me, of small rods for bream, I still feel inclined to drop a big rod down. In fact, I always do, wherever I go fishing, if sea fishing, I just like, even if you like tackle fishing, put a big bait down because you don't know what's down there. To be honest, if you put a big bait down there, the small fish have also got something else to nibble on. It might just keep them in the area. And sometimes I'll put a big bait ledger on the bottom for a big conger or a ray or something like that, and I'll put the little black bream rod behind it just because I know bream will come up and be nibbling at that big bait, and then hopefully they'll see my small hooks and the small strip bait grab that as well. So I'm going to put down a running ledger rig, possibly a big bunch of squid, something like that, just on the off chance, because that chum bag I put down might just get me something. Okay, now for the possibility of a big fish while I'm out bream fishing, I've got a regular multiplier. I've got what is a 12-pound ugly stick rod with the tips been snapped about 3 times on tarpon and sharks, so it's quite a short, powerful ugly stick. I've got braid on there. I've got a running ledger Clement's boom made from, you may have seen our videos on it, if not, look how to make your own free Clement's boom sliding booms, and also possibly the most inexpensive lead you can find, or the most expensive depending whether you're dealing scrap or not. It's copper, which is expensive as scrap, and it's lead, which is also expensive, but it's quicker than all that mould business because I just put silver paper over the bottom of the tube, make sure there's no moisture in there at all, fill it up with lead, piece of coat hanger loop, and there you are. It's, because I'm over rough ground here, it's what I call an expendable. I've then got my 2.0 barrel swivel, a crimped knot there as well with a Flemish eye, 100-pound leader just in case Monsieur Le Conger comes along from France, and a turned-in eye hook there, a turned-in point hook there. I'm going to put on that maybe a couple of squid and just lower it to the bottom, somewhere in the vicinity of that chum bag. We'll probably catch nothing, but every once in a while you do come up with a nice fish. Right, what I've done here, I've hooked 2. Stop that radio talk. I've put 2 squid on there. One I've brought way up over the hook and up the shank, and the other one I've just nicked just once there, but I'm going to bind the two together with the good old elastic thread so it keeps it nice and straight. So anywhere that you've got a decent flow of tide, do not allow a big gobby mess of bait to go around the bend of the hook. I didn't used to use this stuff for years and years. Sorry, we're making a film here, don't you understand? Whip this around like all the way up the shank and up the line before the man starts talking on the radio again. And I even come below the bend of the hook. I don't whip it onto the point and just tug it, and there you go. There's the hook point, and there's a nice, pull that straight, a nice straight bait in the tide. Put it down, we might get a ray, might get a conger, who knows, a bull huss, anything to take this. It costs nothing, just leave it down there for hours. Oh, double bites, folks. Double bites. Just seen one up there. And one there. There he goes. Oh. Who's on? Is he on? Yes, sir. I believe he's on. Screw the drag up, crank down. Fish on, ladies. Another one to the fixed Paternoster. And what is it? It's a garfish and 14 lines. I'll tell you what, they're pretty big garfish today. This is a jumbo garfish. Beating me to death with his tail. Lord, what a battle. I just gave that bag a shake. There's the hook. There is the garfish. It is enormous, gigantic beak. Great fish on light tackle, and I certainly got it on the light tackle, scattering scales all over the lens. Ugh. Let's put him back, see if we can't get another breed. That's a good shot. Try again. Yay! There's something about owning your own small boat that really does open up a world of possibilities. And here on the Totally Awesome Fishing Show, we love small boat fishing. Just go out on 17 footers, we catch some good fish, but it gives you a wonderful sense of freedom that you don't actually get when you just book a charter boat. On a small boat, you get to be captain for the day and you can make your own decisions. It is quite simply the way to go. Now the bites have started to die off a bit, and that's because the tide is getting more slack and the boat's swinging, and what happens is as the boat swings it drags all your gear, all your end tackle into the snags, because don't forget we're fishing over reef here. It's a real pain, it's a boring time, I hate it. I think all boaters would hate that time when the boat's swinging and the lines are going across and under. You rarely catch anything, but time to think, guys. When we first stopped with that chum, we dropped it down, hit the bottom with a lead, jigged up and down a little bit and then tied it off. Now you have to think to yourself, 4 or 5 hours up the road, the tide might have risen 8 to 10 feet or more. So now is the time to keep checking at high water where that chum bag is in relation to the seabed. And again, the other way, when I'm fishing the ebb tide, it's going to start dropping. I might have a lot of loose, coralline line laying around that might get snagged in the reef because the chum bag and the leads are right on the bottom, too much on the bottom. So keep in contact with it, constantly check every now and then, just pull up, retie it, so the lead is just bumping on the bottom there. Little tip, could save you a lot of aggravation.
This is Twisher 2, over. Where are you then, boy? Over. Keep carrying on the way you are, mate, towards where the car ferry goes in, and I can see you heading out towards us now. Yeah, there's a yacht just come past now. It's right here. That's at my port.
That, guys, is another nice bream. It's turning into a good session, and that was on a single hook Paternoster just off the bottom. Really nice bream. I've had garfish, I've had dogfish, I've had what they call a good day, and they're still biting. I think the ebb is just started. Get the pliers on this kitty and we'll get cracking. See if we can't get another one. If you do hold bream, hold them either side of the gills just like that, not pressing on the gills to damage them. If you grab them on the top, you're going to get spiked. As you can see, this guy's kicking around, they've got spines everywhere, but you can hold them just there and release them, and that's a nice looking fish. Beautiful. Let's get it back. What a day. It's not bad, is it, eh? Just came out for a bit of experimental fishing and show you, does it work? Oh, yes. Ah, that's a spine. Clear off. Nasty fish. This time, guys, something totally different. A wrasse. You see that one? Just a ballon wrasse, strip of squid, same rig, and in the shallower water you can put these back. Well, as you obviously gathered, I put pretty much everything back anyway. Nice wrasse there. Racking up the species. As if to signify the end of a very fruitful trip. The dogfish. But it just goes to show you that you can get some good fish using that Paternoster. You can either use the long trace one or the little short stand-up one. And there we finish on a dogfish. I think the tide is just picking up, but I've got to run to go back home. And I've also got to see if I can get a brain surgeon, take this hook out. Got it. There we go. One dogfish, back over the side. Good day, hope you've enjoyed it. Keep watching the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. The skin's really rough, it hurt me. I have to put some treatment on there.